Well, from that report, let's now get into politics, where sharp divisions have lately re-emerged among political leaders allied to ODM leader Raila Odinga and Deputy President Dr. William Ruto about the necessity or otherwise of conducting a referendum to implement recommendations of the Building Bridges Initiative report. Tonight on House of Cards, our political affairs reporter Murimi Mwangi looks at the options ahead on the BBI and explains why the referendum divide has already split Parliament on whether legislators should spearhead implementation of the document or not.
Officially unveil.
Kisumu Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o could have sounded as a roadside commentator when he posed the question in this book: to go presidential or parliamentary, the choice to be made. A few weeks later, and this very question is the subject of bitter differences between Deputy President William Ruto's camp and that of ODM leader Raila Odinga. A debate complicated by the release of the Building Bridges Initiative report, a culmination of Odinga's 2018 cooperation deal with his former bitter rival, President Uhuru Kenyatta, that recommends return of the Prime Minister post and the office of official opposition leader based in Parliament. The puzzle of whether to implement this through Parliament or by popular vote in a referendum, now the subject of bitter political exchanges.
Let it remain with Wanja, with Anyang' and Duta. Let it not bring it to hawa kwa wabunge ambayo wataangalia tu kwa maslahi yao wenyewe peke yao. Let this be a people's document. The people should debate it, and eventually the people should approve it.
We should avoid a costly, potentially divisive, controversial processes that will divide us. It is possible for us to build consensus and arrive at the destination together.
But is a referendum really necessary, and what is the likely scope of Parliament's involvement in the implementation of this document?
Fanfare.
While legal experts opine that the report's recommendation as drafted do not require a referendum for implementation, the clamor to detach the powers of head of government from the office of the president and vest them on an executive prime minister as spearheaded by the opposition camp would ideally strike Article 255 subsection 1 of the 2010 Constitution, necessitating a popular vote. A plebiscite, analysts argue, could as well be a masterstroke for Odinga to measure up his political might against Ruto, seen as not only his main competitor, but also the top protagonist in objection of any political discourse leading to a referendum ahead of the 2022 polls.
I want to believe that what we have now, the president should send it back to Parliament. Let us have a committee of the House, either a select committee or it goes to the relevant parliamentary committee that can deal with it, and we proceed with it.
Whatever report that was generated is going to be subjected to further public view. So meaning we are going to, where we think it is not properly done, we are going to have amends here and there. So people still have another opportunity. So that the resultant document, for sure, is going to be a bit different with what has actually been produced.
To Raila's mind, referendum ni kujipima. Ni kujipima tumefika wapi kisiasa. Pure that. It has nothing to do with the welfare of the Kenyan people. Na sisi tunasema, bunge tunalipwa mshahara. Hizo vitu zote wamesema hapo, we can handle them here in Parliament. So, tuache kusubua wa Kenya na kupoteza kama 20 billion.
As to whether other people want to use it to measure might, then anyone who, because this is a Wanjiku-led document, so unless you want to measure your might against Wanjiku, because this one is bringing all the Kenyans together.
Those opposed to a referendum argue that the document as currently is should be tabled in Parliament, which constitutionally is the Assembly of the People's Representatives, to allow MPs constitute a parliamentary select committee to redraft the report into a bill to be subjected to a vote in the National Assembly, which can only pass with a 2/3 majority. Previously, the National Assembly has failed to get these numbers, which translates to 233 of the 349 members, even on such critical legislations as the gender law and the recent vote to veto a presidential memoranda to remove the bank interest rate capping law. A fate critics fear could befall the BBI report in the House.
Those who are saying that this becomes a parliamentary process, this is a people-driven process. The report we are receiving here today was done by the people. It must end up with the people. Because if you go to Parliament and then say we now want to raise 2/3, the 12th Parliament, even when it meant the most, has not raised 2/3.
There is goodwill. The president is there. The president is not interested in a seat after 2022. So basically, I think he can come in just the way he has come in right now. And I think these people can sit down and they can be able to hammer the few differences. So I really am very positive that the implementation is going to work. But I really recommend instead of taking this document directly to the Parliament, let us have a technical committee so that it can be able to look at this document.
Those are quacks who will not allow to water down this good product. So I can tell you for sure, we will not, and we will resist any attempt very vigorously to bring in committee of experts.
The easy part of drafting the report is done, but now the more complex phase of actualizing the document begins amid noise of succession politics, already at a fever pitch. Murumi Mwangi, KTN News at the Bomas of Kenya.